Scores, predictions. Sportz Blitz Live with your host, Brett Pritchard, Luke Robinson, and Randy Lee. Call 800-782-0108. Auburn.
45, 50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going running all the way back.
Alabama.
38 pounds and 80 yards.
And the latest in high school sports.
Yes, he is. Touchdown.
It's Sportz Blitz Live now. Brought to you by S&S Discount Tire and JR's Sports Bar and Grill.
Good Tuesday evening out there to everybody, and welcome into Sportz Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and S&S Discount Tire. Brett Pritchard and Luke Robinson here with you till 9 o'clock. Luke, it's been a while since you and I have been out here together, so that's the thing. In the summertime, we all do a lot of weird rotations because, hey man, we got to have a break every once in a while.
Well,
you've had a break, I've had a break. I don't know if it was really a break.
I can tell you right now, for me, it wasn't a break. Last week, I drove from, I think on Friday, I drove from Ellick City to Cincinnati, then Saturday from Cincinnati to Auburn, Indiana, and then Auburn, Indiana to Louisville, and then Sunday, Louisville to Birmingham, and Monday morning at 5 o'clock, Birmingham to Ellick City.
Ready to get back on the road?
Yeah, I can't wait.
I'm about to say.
I was just taking my kids back, and I love them. I'd love to have them all the time, but when you don't have them for a long time, then you have them for 7 straight weeks. I ended up getting my house cleaned today, and I walked in, it was like actually being in a house again. It used to be, I felt like one of those hoarders. There are Legos everywhere.
Anytime you feel like you miss them, just come on over.
Yeah,
You want to see.
Unless you've got another one and another one on the way,
I don't.
over.
I just look. I look around sometimes and I go, didn't I just clean all that up? Didn't I pick all that up? But anyway, you know what it's just it goes with the territory, and you don't worry about it. But I know it's hard to believe that the summer is coming to an end. When 4th of July hits, it just kind of just hits at a rapid pace and just moves. We're literally a month away from high school football. As a matter of fact, we're going to call the North-South All-Star football game in Montgomery Thursday night in a couple of days at Crampton Bowl. It's All-Star Sports Week. It's dead week for high schools and middle schools for practice, working out. They can't do that. So they have a lot of rules sessions, a lot of coaches, a lot of speakers that come in, and all that kind of stuff. So part of the HSA radio network contract that we have, we always call that game, and I still go back. It doesn't get the pub that the Alabama-Mississippi game does, but Luke, probably the single most impressive performance of a player I've ever seen in Kyle Caldwell a few years ago when he broke Pat Sullivan's record in that game, and he really didn't even play in the first half. He came in the second half. He wasn't slated to even play quarterback for the South. They moved him over there. All of you in this area know that Kyle Caldwell was maybe one of the best quarterbacks to ever come through Dable High School. And he broke Pat Sullivan's record in a half, and then he turns around and lines up to kick the onside kick, kicks that, and they get it, and then he takes the ball and they drive down the field and win the game. I mean, I'll always remember that. So there are some good players in this game. You get to see a lot of different things go on, some guys that may be under the radar. This is a lot of those guys' last opportunity to play in football, put the pads on to play football, and because this is the only sport in All-Star Week that features seniors. Guys that have already finished that may be already enrolled in a college playing in this All-Star game. Everybody else that competes this week are juniors in every other sport.
Yeah, that is a little bit odd. And what it does, I guess, in a lot of people's minds, it devalues the game in the sense that you're going to have guys that probably aren't going to Alabama and Auburn.
Well, let me ask you this question.
But it isn't devaluing it. It actually, I would say those guys are probably hungrier.
I want to, and I agree. I think it's fun to see those guys. I want to put a spin on it. How popular would this game be if this were rising seniors, juniors going into their senior year, and it were all the top I mean, how big does that game get then?
It would be huge, and I would love it. However, it'll never happen because if you're the head coach of high school X and you've got the number one player in the state of Alabama,
you don't want him playing.
You don't want him anywhere near that game.
That's exactly right.
And so that'll never.
But in
happen.
a perfect world, that would be pretty cool.
Coaches already probably wince every time they see their players make a catch at the opening or on these 7-on-7 games sometimes. But in the end, I mean, this is a whole nother subject. It's just like the kickoff controversy
in college football,
or mini controversy that's out there right now about whether or not they want to keep having it. Football's a sport, and you playing anything, you can get hurt. I tore my Achilles playing flag football at the age of 41.
And you didn't get tackled. I mean, it
I
just happened.
was standing by myself.
Well, there's a guy, and we'll talk a lot about upcoming players throughout the rest of the year as high school football gets started. We'll focus on some of the top players in the state of Alabama. We have another one here in Alexander City, and we've watched him since he was a freshman. Luke, he got called up, and he got some limited time late in games and blowouts for Benjamin Russell. But people need to understand that Nicole Maxwell, he may be the best running back in the state of Alabama this year. Now, I know there's a running back up in the Tuscaloosa area that's going to – yeah, exactly. That's going to be rated – he probably is the number one rated running back in the state this year. But, Luke, I'm telling you, Nicole Maxwell rushed for almost 1,900 yards last year as a junior. He is highly touted. He's got programs like BYU and, a lot of national programs already looking at him. He's going to garner even more attention. He's got the build of what you want. He's 5'9", 5'10". He probably weighs 185 pounds, 190 pounds. He's strong as an ox. He's got breakaway speed in open field. So he's not a stocky guy that, just can bang around between the tackles and pick up tough yards. He can do that, but he's got deceptive speed. I'm looking forward to watching him this year and following him and following the recruiting battle that will be around him. So
yeah, it'll be unique to watch that, and it's not a great year for running backs in the state of Alabama. It's a fantastic year for linebackers, but it's cyclical like that. Sometimes one year you have a great year for receivers, and 1 year you have a great year for quarterbacks on down the line. This year it's probably a good thing for Nicole that not that he's not good and he wouldn't be good in any year, but when you look him up on the recruiting services, I see him mostly as unranked right now. I think that'll change.
There's no way, Luke, once he and I've already and I'll just tell you, I've already talked to some people. I'm not going to name any names. If he has the semblance of this year as he did last year, he deserves an invitation to the Alabama Mississippi All-Star game.
Well, that was my next thought is he could get that invitation. You look at Brian Robinson going to Alabama.
And you feel like he will get one.
Yeah, I think he'll get one. Alaric Williams out of the Gadsden area, I think he'll get one.
But outside of those two guys,
I don't know of a lot of other big running. Now, what may happen is some guys that play quarterback may swap positions and play. I don't know.
But as a true running back, he deserves a shot to be in this
I would love
game.
to see him. And they usually take 3 running backs that game and then have 1 or 2 on standby in case somebody
And
gets
it's
hurt or
not the
pulls out.
hottest year. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Brian Robinson and Alaric Williams and Nicole, but sometimes that's a good thing. That maybe you're one of the top 3 in a class that's not so loaded. So you really stand out. You really have an opportunity to get that shot to go. And I know there's a lot of football. We ain't even started yet. There's a lot of things that have to go on. And I watched a video online of him. He's putting the work in, the extra work, the stuff that you don't, you have your summer workouts, but, players get better. I told Braden this, and he's going into middle school football this year. You get your reps, you have your scheduled workouts, but it's what you do outside in your own time that makes you better and gives you a better shot of playing, and that's what he's doing right now. And I'm looking forward to it. Hey, look, Benjamin Russell lost a lot. They lost Tyree Gray. They lost a lot of guys on, in skill position, but they've got an electrifying guy coming in at quarterback in Timmy Lawson. They've got Nicole back. They've got a young offensive line, but they've got a couple of returning starters. They've got a really good defense. This team's still going to be pretty good in 6A football. We get the honor of calling them every week. That's our fall duty. That's what we are contracted to do. I'm looking forward to another exciting year. It's a brand new schedule because we had the reclassification. A lot of different things going to be coming up this fall.
Well, a lot of people, as you mentioned earlier, if Nakobe can emulate what he did last year, then I think it will carry more weight.
It'll carry a lot more weight.
Because you didn't have Tyree Gray. I mean, Tyree Gray back there, it makes it easier. But it works both ways.
Sure.
Having Nakobe back there made it easier for Tyree,
That's
too.
exactly right. They complemented each other really well.
For those of us who know the bloodline of Timmy Lawson, we know exactly how athletic that kid can be.
Oh, I know.
You have seen him play a lot more than I, but I can tell you, I know his dad, and his dad was something to behold. So
That's
I'm
right.
sure if Timmy's got 1/10 of his athletic ability, then he's going to be pretty strong. It reminds me a little bit, you guys called David Palmer's son.
That's right.
Play for Chelsea
That's
one
right.
year. And he really ate Benjamin Russell up that game.
Well,
if I remember.
He ate everybody up there.
Yeah, he was just fantastic. And he wasn't as good as the Deuce, but that tells you how good the Deuce was.
That's
So
exactly
all
right.
it
He
is.
was a tremendous player, and Dalvin Palmer's his name.
That's right.
And he was, and not to cut on Chelsea, but outside of him, Chelsea didn't have anything. It was kind of like, let me flip it over here and just let him make a play. And,
That's right.
And I think he led Chelsea to 8 or 9 wins that year in the regular season. And Benjamin, it was actually, and I recall that game as a shootout, Luke. I mean, but couldn't stop him. That's a lot of teams what they did with Tyree this year. Hey, we can score some points too, but we just can't stop that guy, and he's just better than everybody on the field. 1-800-782-0108, 256-234-6464. A lot to talk about tonight. Got some great guests on the show.
Yeah. I wanted to mention those. First of all, we're going to have Josh Bean on first. He will obviously be on with us several times during the year during the AHSA scoreboard show, and he's got a lot of great things to talk about tonight. There is a good series done by another writer on AL.com about coaches and parents. This is something I've always had a problem with. My kids have played, and I've gone to games, and I played in youth sports myself. There was nothing worse than the overbearing parent. If you're one of those people now, I mean, check yourself is all I can tell you. It is the absolute worst, and you make it
if you had a camera on yourself sometimes and you watched yourself act the way, I mean, I'm talking to all of us. I'm just hypothetical. I know I've been there. I've coached Little League all the way through baseball and football. And, sometimes you go back and you go, man, I probably shouldn't have lost my mind like that or whatever. But I think all of us would take a step back if we saw ourselves sometimes from another perspective. And you're right. Now that I've been able to take a step back and watch more and be on the side of the fence where I'm not coaching, you're kind of like, I hope I wasn't that bad.
I'll tell you, some of the comments that coaches had received from parents and some of the things parents had done to try and move their kid up the ladder for whatever reason. And I know there's some bad coaches out there too. It certainly works both ways, but gosh, it was scary. It makes you wonder, what are we doing all this for? Then we're also going to have Abby Lutzenkirchen on tonight. She is the sister, obviously, who lost Philip Lutzenkirchen 2 years ago.
Tragedy.
And she was a soccer player at the University of Alabama. They had an incredible relationship. She's working now with the Knight Eady Group in Birmingham, whom we have a great relationship with. And she is going to be one of the head people for Knight Eady that's going to be in charge of the National Senior Games, which is going to be in Birmingham in 2017. We're going to talk all about that. We'll talk a little bit about the Lutzy 43 Foundation as well. They've got a big race coming up in Marietta. Then we're also going to have Hannah Stevens on. This is a young lady, just graduated from Alabama in 2014. She has started her own radio show in Huntsville on 97.7 ESPN radio up in the Huntsville area. And, man, I just got to give her a lot of credit. You just get out of school, basically. She had made a little bit of a name for herself as the UA sign girl. She was always the girl at the games that got on TV with some kind of clever sign that would have the script A in it. And she started getting in the world of sports and jumped right into it. And now she's got her own program called That's What She Said. It's a pretty catchy name.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty interesting. Looking forward to hearing from her. Just an addition here. In the next 10 minutes, we're going to have Captain Peace Marvel on the phone with us from Venice, Louisiana. I'll tell a little bit about that story from what we experienced this past week. a record swordfish catch that we'll be editing and putting together on Sportz Blitz Outdoors. He was just ranked one of the top fishing guides in the world, top 50 fishing guides in the world by Saltwater Sportsman magazine. Wow. He's been doing it a long time. He's caught more swordfish than anybody in the northern Gulf of Mexico. We're looking forward to having him on here in just a little bit as he'll be on to talk about our trip from this past week, which was by most vintage standards and our standards going down, Luke, was very, very disappointing until the last minute, and so it turned around real quick. So we'll take your calls throughout. We'll have guests, as Luke just said. A lot to talk about here on this program. I'm going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, hopefully, Captain Peace Marvel, who is one of the top 50 offshore fishing guides in the world, ranked by Saltwater Sportsman magazine that just came out this week, will be on the phone with us. Stay tuned. More Sportz Blitz Live presented by JR's and S&S Discount Tire right after this.
Is our number one concern. Advanced Heat and Air.
Whether it's hot or cold, let Advanced Heating and Air make sure your house is ready for any season. If any of your equipment needs serviced or replaced, now is a great time to call us. Get 0% financing for 60 months with approved credit. Whether you need your system serviced or it's time for something new, call Advanced Heating and Air today.
Your comfort is our number one concern. Advanced Heat and Air.
The Sure Shot, located on Highway 280 in Alexander City, is Lake Martin Sportsman's headquarters. In the market for a new rifle or shotgun? Come to the Sure Shot. Want a new bow or need to practice with the one you have? Come to the Sure Shot. Thinking about a firearm for self-defense? Come to the Sure Shot. Got a hunt planned and need some gear? Come to the Sure Shot. For all your archery, shooting, and hunting needs, let the Sure Shot be your first stop.
If your New Year's resolution is to stop walking and start riding, then resolve yourself to run to Lake Martin Truck and Auto on Old Dadeville Road. Lake Martin Truck and Auto is the bank, and you don't need to worry about past credit, getting your tax money, or finding the ride that suits you, because Lake Martin Truck and Auto has the lowest down payments and monthly payments in the area with the best selection. Don't let the Slick City dealer take all that tax money or hassle you with credit. Lake Martin Truck and Auto, Old Dadeville Road in Alex City.
If you're seeing the American cockroach, throw up the red flag. Ladybugs, throw up the red flag. Ants and swarming termites, throw up the red flag. And kudzu bugs, throw up the red flag. That's Red Flag Pest Control. So the caution is on. Call Red Flag Pest Control today.
I'm Scott Davis with Red Flag Pest Control, celebrating our 10th anniversary. Call me today, 256-825-0430.
Over the years, S&S Tire's grown into the Lake Martin area's largest volume tire dealer. S&S Tire offers the industry's best brand names: Michelin, Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Firestone, and much, much more. The tire pros at S&S offer professional installation and the region's best price. In addition to your tire needs, S&S offers full automotive mechanical work for all your vehicle maintenance and repair needs with the area's most experienced staff. Visit either of our 2 locations on Cherokee Road in Alex City or at South Street in Dadeville. At S&S Tire, we're installing peace of mind for every customer we serve. Every job, every day.
Ready to put some fun in your life? Whether it's Central or East Alabama, North Alabama, West Georgia, or wherever you're from, Fun Carts of Opelika is your authorized easy-go cart dealer that has no limits on a perfect easy-go cart. Whether it's a fully customized cart or a stock-made cart, we'll deliver it on time and at the best price. Fun Carts gives you the service after the sale, so no matter if it's hunting, tailgating, motorhoming, fleet rental, or just a better way to get around, Fun Carts of Opelika has it and will customize it to your needs. Visit us in Opelika or call us or visit online for the best easy-go carts. Put a little fun in your life with Fun Carts of Opelika.
This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Bice Motors in Alexander City. Brian and his crew offer the latest lines of Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram vehicles, as well as the best used inventory around. Guaranteed lowest price. Bice.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sportz Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and S&S Discount Tire. Glad you've joined us again here on this Tuesday night. We'll be with you till 9 o'clock. At this time, I want to go to the phone lines and welcome in a special guest, a good friend of mine from Venice, Louisiana, Captain Peace Marvel. Just went on a trip with him. Peace, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm on my way down to go catch some fish, and that's what I love doing.
Well, I know you do, and you're live throughout the state of Alabama tonight, all the way from Huntsville all the way down to Mobile and all parts in between. So, we're going to edit this show that we just shot with you as quickly as possible and get it out there because there's been a lot of buzz about a fish that we caught this past weekend, and I can go on and on about it. Kenneth Boone, who was on the boat with us, wrote a story in the paper here in Alexander City. It's gotten a lot of great reviews. But Peace, I'll just say this first and foremost. We talked off the air. I've been with you several years now, and every year we have just torn it up, and it's been a great trip. This one, not so much. We went out there, and right out of the gate, it was hard to catch the bait. You kind of already had a feeling it was going to be tough. It was hot out there. No breeze. Saw some fish. Just couldn't get them to bite. We were covered up by sharks all day. And by 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we didn't have much to show for our work, did we?
No, we did not. We had one. By then we had one yellowfin and a couple of lost opportunities and a bunch of delicious rainbow runners.
And that was it. And a lot of times by 3 o'clock with you got eight yellowfin in there, and we've already gone off to do something else. But as always, you suggest things, and you do this for a living. And we all like sword fishing, but we have to make a decision, have to have a game plan. You said, let's just cut our loss here and let's go try to catch a swordfish. And we all graciously agreed to do that. And I can't really explain to everybody last second, bottom of the ninth, 3-2 count. If that were fishing, that's exactly what that would have been. And you got on to me with 10 minutes to go. You gave the 10-minute warning, and I looked at you and said, well, we gave it the old college try. And you looked at me and said, is the bait out of the water yet? And I said, no. And he said, well, it ain't over till it's over. And literally, as you're reeling that bait up to head in after you called it a day, this big 251-pound swordfish bit, and an hour and a half later, we got it on the boat, and it was the experience was unbelievable.
Yeah, I tell you, that's one thing about sword fishing. I mean, there's been days when literally, we'll have a bait in the water at 7 o'clock in the morning, and at 1:30, everybody's hemming and hawing, saying, maybe we should do this, maybe we should do that. And then between 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock, we're getting bit and catching fish left and right. The thing is, just don't give up. I mean, that's, like I've said many times, it's the difference between, going out, if you want to go out and shoot a bunch of does, you need to clear some does out of your property. That's like a lot of the other fishing that I do. But if you want to rack up some 12-point bucks, that's sword fishing. You got to commit, you got to put your time in, and you got to be willing to stick it out. And like one of my nicknames around the dock is the Prince of Darkness, because I do not like to give up, and I'm very often in there at dark 30. But I love it. It's what I do for a living. As long as my wife and kids aren't in Venice, I got nothing else to do.
All right, there you go. And it's a lot of fun. It's Captain Peace Marvel on the phone with us here from Venice, Louisiana. An outstanding fishing guide. You can catch up with him through all of our links on Sportz Blitz. You can get him on our Facebook page. I can personally put you in touch with him if you're looking to go yellowfin tuna fishing, sword fishing, blue marlin fishing, wahoo dolphin. Just practically the year before, we went out there and could have caught 200 dolphin. We just decided to quit catching them. And this year, there's just not many out there. So that just shows you, from year to year, you better be willing to change.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, one of the things that I love about blue water fishing is the fact that you've got to be aware and adapt. Like, be aware of what's going on and be able to adapt to the situation. Just like the sword or the tuna fishing. The tuna fishing wasn't really working out for us the other day, and so we were able to adapt and do something else. I mean, there are days. I think. Last year the dolphins were so thick it was hard to catch tuna because the tuna couldn't get to the bait. I mean, literally there were that many dolphins. And this year, like you said, it's been a lot of bigger wahoo on the rip. I caught some really nice wahoo for the summertime, but the dolphin just not really been there. Not really been there.
Well, Peace, you got all on the top 10 Louisiana. You've got 8 now of the top 10 fish. Is that correct?
No, just 7.
Oh, I'm sorry. I gave you one more. So I gave you one too many. But 7 of the top 10 have been your fish. And I look on the top record. I believe you have number 2. Is that correct? Is that the highest one you have?
Yeah, that's number 2. I caught number 1 3 times. I have a 311, a 313, and a 341. But each of those times, the angler passed the rod so that it didn't qualify as a record fish. In order for it to be a record fish, it has to be a one-angler fish. You can't pass the rod around in the boat, everybody take a turn on him. I mean, what's the accomplishment of that? And and I know, like that fish that you caught, that 251, he fought. And I know that you've got a whole new respect for those fish. But I was proud of you for sticking it out. You did an excellent job on the reel. You stayed in there even when it got hard. I've seen people quit at a lot less stress and a lot less time. You did a great job.
Well, I appreciate it, and all the credit goes to you. You put us on that fish. You watched for 2.5 hours the tip end of a rod when all of us were walking around the boat trying to follow the shade of the canopy and all that. You stayed focused, and that's what makes you who you are, Peace. And appreciate it, man. It was the best trip I've ever. I told you it went from being literally maybe the worst trip I've ever had to Venice to being the best trip in a matter of a few minutes. And and you're right. The sense, and we're on a sports show, and you made mention of this. It's no different than the fourth quarter trying to fight through, and nobody in the stands, the fans don't care how tired you are. They just want to win. And that's what you got to do with something like this. It's you got to fight through it, because the joy and the feeling of elation that you get once you accomplish that is far exceeds any pain that you went through for an hour and a half.
That is exactly right. Whether you give up, I always tell people this, whether you give up and pass the rod or whether you stay on it and land the fish, you will remember it. What do you want to remember?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? What do you want your history to be here? And, another point that we should make is, I do no electric reels for swordfish. Now, if we have to reel the line up to check the bait, I have that reel cranky.
That's right.
Little drill, we just put it on. So we're not having to reel the bait back and forth up. But when we get a fish on, it's an 80-watt Tiagra, and I just can't understand people that are catching them on electric reels, because really, what's the point? I mean, are you angling? Are you starving for food and you need to feed your family? Yes. Put an electric reel out. What's the difference between that and setting a long line? Let's set a long line with 100 hooks on it, and then come back and take the swordfish off of it, and we can say we caught 80 swordfish in a day. Anyway, for bottom fish and grouper, stuff like that, stuff that's going to be dead weight anyway, I don't really have any problem with it, or tilefish or whatever. But a swordfish, they're in a family all by themselves. They are, without a doubt, the toughest, hardest fighting fish in the entire world. I would not disrespect them by really going in by sitting on my butt, pressing the button. Wouldn't do it. That's a great point, Peace. And again, it's all about the experience, and it really what is the point if you're going to sit there and just let one
kind of crank its own self up. It just takes the sport out of it. It really defeats the purpose. Anybody can go out there and do that. Well, that's what makes it so special. That's why the memories last. We're already ready to come back and go fishing with you. We may make another trip this year in the fall to pick up some of those tuna off the shrimp boats. And so I may be giving you a call in a few weeks trying to set up another trip. But Peace, can't say enough. Congratulations. I know it might be a few months ago, but Saltwater Sportsman Magazine named you one of the top 50 guides in the country. And so
I'm sorry, it was in the world.
Oh, excuse me. I slighted you again. Slighted you again, but that does tell you top 50 in the world. I'm always excited to go with you. It's a lot of fun. You do it right, and we're looking forward to it already again.
Roger, buddy. I look forward to seeing y'all too. Give everybody a hug and a kiss for me.
Do it. Thank you, Peace. Appreciate it.
All right.
Have a good night. That's Captain Peace Marvel there with Peacekeeper Charters. He started it all basically in Venice, Louisiana, one of the hottest fishing grounds in the entire world, and he is literally the best there is. If you want to go fishing, have a great trip, contact us at Sportz Blitz, and we'll put you in touch with him. We're going to take a break. I'll come back. Luke Robinson will join me, and we'll continue on. Stay tuned. More Sportz Blitz Live, presented by JR's and S&S Tire right after this.
What value would you gain working with Lee Marketing Group? With 4 divisions under one umbrella, Sign Source, Lee Apparel, R&B Media, and LMG Baker Advertising Agency, Lee Marketing Group offers a comprehensive approach. From logo design and branding to ad placement and everything in between, LMG can handle it all. For ease of time, cutting-edge, results-driven marketing campaigns, think LMG. Lee Marketing Group, your comprehensive marketing solution.
In a world that's ever-changing, you have to be sure that your choices are the right choices. At Central Alabama Community College, you'll know you made the best choice. Whether choosing a technical degree program, taking courses to transfer to a 4-year college or university, or being a part of our national championship winning traditions, get a sharper focus on your life by choosing one of our 3 convenient locations: Alex City, Childersburg, and Talladega. Central Alabama Community College. Central to you, central to your success.
Don't you know there's no clean like Peaches and Clean?
Wow, your carpets look fantastic.
Yeah, thanks to Peaches and Clean.
They look new again.
They also clean my kitchen tile.
Simply amazing. I'm calling Peaches and Clean today.
Just call 502-5326. Oh yeah, they have an area rug cleaning facility too.
Peaches and Clean is now expanded to the Alexander City Lake Martin Market. Give them a call at 334-502-5326.
Call us up at Peaches and Clean.
This sensation salad is so good. It's like change your life good. You have your own late night show?
And we are back. We're back with Sarah. Sarah, I'd like you to meet Liam. Liam and his lemur.
Life-changing? Maybe. Indescribably good? Definitely. The Sensation Salad is back. Chicken fingers, crispy wonton strips, Asian slaw, honey sesame sauce, and a veggie egg roll. Only at Zaxby's.
Wireless Advantage is Lake Martin's Verizon premium retailer, located in the Marketplace Shopping Center on Highway 280 in Alex City. We've got all the latest cell phones along with the latest Wi-Fi internet products, home phone options, and state-of-the-art tablets, all backed up by Verizon's premium nationwide network. Don't get caught in long lines. Get full Verizon service and products from Apple, BlackBerry, Droid HTZ, iPad, LG, Motorola, and Samsung right here at home. Visit Wireless Advantage in the Marketplace Shopping Center in Alexander City on Highway 280 for all your Verizon wireless needs.
When it's time to buy your teen's first vehicle, you think safety. Your teen thinks style. At Talladega Ford, we have style and safety. Ford has more 5-star safety-rated vehicles than any other car manufacturer. Ford goes that extra mile to make sure you are safe. Government safety standards are based on a 30-mile-per-hour crash. Ford goes a little further. We test our cars at 35 miles per hour. Come by Talladega Ford today so we can show you how safety and style go hand in hand.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Dark Insurance, offering insurance for all your personal needs, including auto, boat, homeowners, and disability. Don't be in the dark. Call Dark Insurance at 256-234-5026.
Brett Pritchard, Luke Robinson, Justin Mosley behind the glass. Back there, glad to have Peace on the phone with us. He was headed back down to Venice. That's his job. That's what he does for a living, and it's a grueling job. It's just like anything else. A lot of times, from the outside looking in, you're like, man, I'd love to do that every day. Trust me, that is a grind. We got back to the dock about 10:30, cleaned out fish, got back to the house down there at his place about midnight, 12:30. He had to get up and go fishing again the next day.
What time?
We're just like we did 5 o'clock, on another offshore trip. So it's a grueling, and you got to make your money when you make it, man, because storms, things, they're just times that you can't, and you have to cancel trips. So when you have a trip, you got to go. And no matter how tired, I was worn out, and he was over there cleaning out the fish, and we're helping, and I'm like, I don't know how you do it. He's like, man, he said, I'm just used to it now. It's just whatever. It's what you get accustomed to, acclimated to. It was an outstanding trip. I know you and your son and a friend had a great trip with David Ayer, who's also a big sponsor of ours. We've done a lot of shows with David. Striper guiding out there on Lake Martin. He's the best there is out here. Y'all guys had a great time.
Yeah, we did. David Ayer did a fabulous job for us, and it was so much fun. And as I said,
well, it's fun to see your kid catch their first fish. It's that
a big
size.
Fish.
That's right.
And as I said last time, last show I was on at least, and it's hard to remember which one, but I said, you could not be more of a novice fisherman than I am. I know nothing. And the fish we caught, I didn't know existed in Lake Martin. So that tells you.
Even though I've caught a bunch of them and you've seen pictures of them.
I've seen pictures, but I just assume when people say bass, I just think it's a bass.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you got a Chilean sea bass.
That's right.
But I'm not catching one of those.
Not out of there.
But
if you do, something's wrong.
See, I thought that if we caught a bass, it was going to have the big largemouth bass.
Largemouth. Yeah.
This is a saltwater fish
Saltwater
that is introduced to the lake. I did not know that.
It's pretty neat.
And it's a pretty cool concept. And you go and it's really deep. And I thought we were going to be amongst all the sticks and the twigs and the marsh and the whatever, and we were just out there in the deep water. I mean, not deep compared to what you were deep, but I mean,
deep
for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I mean, it just
60, 40, 50, 60 foot deep.
He had a fish finder.
Yep.
And he might as well have just taken a crushed handful of Doritos and slapped it on a screen, because I couldn't read it any better. I mean, there were orange dots and yellow things going everywhere, and I just said,
what is that?
I mean, you know how the first time when Doppler radar and everything
Yeah,
came out,
yeah.
and you're like, oh my God, look at that giant cluster of yellow, and they're like, don't matter that's ground clutter.
Like,
oh, well,
wow.
it looked bad.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, lots of times something will go, there's a fish. He goes, no, that's bait fish. I'm like, how do you know? It's
just
amazing.
Just experience. It's no different than you with a fountain trying to price it out, and how, people may be enamored by the process of how you create that and ironwork and all that. It's just what you're around all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's what you're accustomed to. So, two great guides, one offshore in Venice, one here in Lake Martin. You can't go wrong either way. Luke, I know we got great guests coming up later on in the program. We're going to talk about SEC Media Days, a lot of talk about Alabama with another player issue right off of a couple of guys in Louisiana that Nick Saban and Paul Feinbaum kind of got into. We haven't had a chance to really talk about that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But it's time to do our Players of the Week. And, again, we want to thank all of our sponsors for providing the opportunity to recognize these young men and women in the sports that they have and their accomplishments each and every week throughout the state of Alabama. We'll start off with the AISA Player of the Week this week, sponsored by Lyman Ward Military Academy, the oldest military academy in the country, founded in 1898 in Camp Hill, Alabama. Victoria Temple of Evangel Christian Academy is a 2015-2016 AISA Scholar Athlete of the Year Award recipient for her hard work on and off the court. So congratulations to Victoria Temple being the AISA Player of the Week, sponsored by Lyman Ward this week.
Alabama National Guard Lake Martin Area Player of the Week, well, wouldn't you know, is Timmy Lawson from Benjamin Russell High School. The rising senior was named to the Lake City Outlook Super 12 team. He will be counted on to play both sides of the ball for the upcoming season.
Here's the AHSA Radio Network Player of the Week, sponsored by Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores. Can't thank them enough as our corporate partner on the AHSA Radio Network. Haley Troop is our AHSA Radio Network Player of the Week from Gadsden City High School. Check this out. The rising senior guard has committed to play for South Carolina in 2018. She averages 17.9 points per game and 6.6 rebounds per game this past year as a junior. She'll play for the North team this week in the North-South All-Star game. So congratulations to Haley Troop, already committed to play for the Gamecocks, and not just to play for a program, one of the top 3 programs in the country.
No doubt about it. The Kenneth Ingram Jr. Personal Injury Attorney Montgomery Area Player of the Week is Rod Thrasher from Wetumpka High School, recently added as a defensive back to the South All-Star roster for the North-South All-Star game to be played this week.
And going along with the theme of fishing for tonight, the Shelby County Players of the Week, the duo from Helena High School, sponsored by Central State Bank. Chase Gregory, Cade Holcomb qualified as a duo for the Bassmasters High School National Championship coming up in August in Paris, Tennessee. So congratulations to those 2 guys from Helena High School. Be fishing in the High School Bassmasters National Championship up in Paris, Tennessee, August 2nd through the 6th.
The Alabama National Guard East Alabama Player of the Week is Mikhail Trammell from Lafayette High School. The 6'7" senior was added to the South squad for this week's North-South All-Star game in Montgomery, and he is a very good player. I've seen him in the past. And finally, Alabama National Guard Lee County Player of the Week is Andrew Naismith from Auburn High School. The all-area standout has signed with Jacksonville State for the upcoming baseball season. He posted a 2 ERA to go along with a .45 batting average in his senior season with the Tigers.
Phenomenal stuff. Congratulations to all of them. Again, each and every week, thankful to all of our sponsors who make this possible. We've added several of these Players of the Week over the years, Luke, and anybody in your area that you might be watching and listening, you think you would like to have a weekly Player of the Week from your area, we'd love to have them on the program. Just give us a call, look us up on Facebook, Twitter, hit us up, and we'll be glad to put them in there. So we'll go ahead and take a break here, short segment here. We come back, we'll talk SEC Media Days. Got some guests coming up that you don't want to miss here on the program. Stay tuned. More Sports Blitz Live presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and S&S Discount Tire right after this.
If you've been putting off that new heating and air unit in your home because of the upfront expenses, Williams Plumbing of Alexander City now has primary financing from Synchrony and can now install brand new heating and cooling systems with 0 down, longer terms, and a competitive rate. Call Williams Plumbing at 256-329-8488 and get a free quote and terms and upgrade up to $35,000 in work with approved credit. Williams Plumbing stands behind their work with on-time affordable service for all your heating and air needs, as well as plumbing for 0 down financing and great service. Williams Plumbing.
For 115 years, Alliant Bank has built a strong foundation of outstanding customer service. Now, U.S. AmeriBank is building on that foundation with Craft Banking. U.S. AmeriBank's mission is to create handcrafted solutions that perfectly suit your needs and goals. With these financial strengths and convenient banking tools of U.S. AmeriBank, your hometown bank is now even stronger. Alliant is now U.S. AmeriBank, and we're built on values and forging into the future. Visit usameribank.com or any branch for Craft Banking solutions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Bucks Island is one of the oldest boat dealers in Alabama, serving boaters since 1948 with the largest boat showroom in the state. Bass boats featuring Skeeter, cruisers and sport boats featuring Monterey, pontoons featuring Crest, G3 and Voyagers, powered by Mercury and Yamaha. Bucks Island has sold over 10,000 boats and with a full service and parts and accessories department to keep your boat in top condition. Don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote. Visit Bucks Island on Highway 77 in Southside or online at bucksisland.com. Give them a call at 1-800-I'm-READY. Bucks Island, where our #1 product product is customer satisfaction.
Now's the time to make a splash during the summer clearance event at Bice Motors. Get incredible summer savings on our entire inventory. Save over $10,000 on a great selection of new 2016 Ram trucks. Thinking about a Jeep? Bice has the Lake Martin area's largest selection of Jeep Renegades, Patriots, Compass, Cherokees, and Grand Cherokees, all priced to move.
Guaranteed lowest price, or we'll pay you the difference in price twice.
Don't miss the summer clearance event going on now. BiceChryslerDodge.com.
Russell Do-It Center and Russell Building Supply is locally owned and operated with over 30 years experience providing a wide array of lumber, building materials, hardware, electrical and plumbing supplies, paint, tools, and garden products. Our employees' superior product knowledge and top-notch customer service allows us to help select the best products that will work for you. We provide free product estimates and takeoffs, free local delivery, and ask about our price match promise. Russell Do-It Center and Russell Building Supply. Experience and knowledge from the pros.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sportz Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and S&S Discount Tire. Brett Pritchard, Luke Robinson here with you till 9 o'clock. College football is upon us. July is basically over. It's hard to believe that just in a few weeks it will be time for kickoff. And it just seemed like yesterday that Alabama and Clemson played in that national championship game. I mean, seriously, it just feels like that only happened a couple months ago.
This summer did go by more quickly than other summers to me. Maybe
is it
it's
because
just
we're old?
No, I think it's because it was so hot.
Yeah, maybe so. Well, maybe usually if it's so
I don't know
hot,
what that
it
has to
goes
do with
by
anything.
slower than that. But anyway, I don't really know either. But it did go by fast to me and to you. SEC Media Days moved up a couple of weeks. It seems like it keeps inching closer to.
Well, the SEC wants to be first. Okay, the SEC wants to usher in everything, and it does feel like all the other media days are sort of secondhand, doesn't it?
I don't ever hear anything about them. I mean, that's the thing.
The Big 12 had all their mascots come in. I saw the cowboy for Oklahoma State was giving this weirdo press conference.
It needs to shave.
Yeah, and it was, they do all these things, and the SEC was tame this year for the most part, outside of.
It's been kind of been tame last couple of years.
Well, but it has a history of subpoenas so coaches can't come down, and then Steve Spurrier being there forever. He always had some interesting quips. But the Big 12 announced something just a few minutes ago, really, or not long ago, and they said we are looking at expansion for 2017 now.
Sure.
Which goes kind of against where they've been. We're the toughest conference because we play everybody. We play a round robin, and really they figured out, okay, this isn't the way to go. And I don't know where they expand though, Brett. Unless you start breaking up the conferences again, you can't really go Houston to me. I mean, you can, but it doesn't capture a lot of market share, I guess. You may regain some of that because the SEC has crept into Texas pretty good.
It has, and of course Texas A&M being where they are and what they've been able to do. I know they've hit some kind of ugly years here the last couple of years. Kevin Sumlin been on the hot seat, but the expansion of the stadium, Johnny Manziel, the popularity that they garnered. We're gonna hold off on continuing with our SEC talk. Josh Bean is up now, Luke, and I'll let you take over with Josh. So we'll go to the phone lines and welcome Josh Bean in here to the program. Josh, thanks so much for coming in.
Hey, glad to be with you guys. A little better late than never, right?
That's okay. We were just yammering on. Can't stop us from talking, Josh. Hey, buddy, thanks so much for being with us. First of all, usually when you come on, we obviously want to talk about an article that you've written, but I got to talk a little bit with you about the article that just came out about the relationship between parents and coaches and some of the interactions that coaches described with the parents. I was flabbergasted about how poorly some of these coaches have been treated in the past. Did that article stun you?
Yeah, I mean, Paul Beaudry, our own Paul Beaudry, has been working on this project for a number of weeks, and first he asked coaches to fill out a survey, and then he went back to a number of those for folks who have seen it on AL.com today, and and got some more personalized accounts from them, and it really is amazing. From parents who threaten to do bodily harm to coaches, to parents trying to get coaches fired, to coaches come in. I mean, parents come in a locker room after a game, immediately after a game. I mean, there really are some amazing tales in that. And Paul did I thought Paul did a fantastic job of presenting it in a way that was easy for the reader to get to, and also sort of presented that sort of the darker side of what high school coaches go through. And yeah, we have reported pretty extensively on high school football coaches that make more than $100,000, and there are some coaches that do make a lot of money in our state. But the great majority of them are coaching for pretty small stipends. And so, when you see the sort of things that they deal with on a pretty regular basis, it certainly is eye-opening, I think.
Yeah, that's what bugged me so much about it is I think for the most part, anybody who played sports remembers coaches pretty fondly. And I hate it that some of the coaches are getting disenchanted with being in the profession because, number one, they have to deal with probably not great pay usually, grueling hours, they're outside, they got to deal with a lot of kids and usually face off against things like Twitter and social media, and now they got to deal with the parents too. It just seems like they've got a lot on their plate.
Yeah, and I think that any of us who have been to a Little League game in the last 20 years have seen that parent. But, I think we like to feel like by the time kids get to high school that doesn't happen anymore. But certainly it does. I always think of, probably 10 or 12 years ago, I was talking to Wimp Sanderson about something one time, and just in the middle of the conversation, he said, I never forget this, he said, not everybody thinks they can be a brain surgeon, but everybody thinks they can coach. And so I do think there's that feeling out there that lots of parents feel like that. But I think sometimes we forget, high school coaches, I mean, that's what they do. That's their profession. And I think we all like to Monday morning quarterback a little bit, but some of those stories that Paul was able to get from coaches, I thought were truly amazing.
A 7-on-7 tournament in Hoover this past week, and there was a lot of talent on display. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, I mean, I realize that this is not real football, that nobody's getting tackled to the ground. We don't have linemen out there. There's not 11 on 11, but you can extrapolate some stuff. Let's look at a year ago when McGill-Tulane played so well in 7-on-7, and that translated. They ended up winning the 7A championship. So I think that the big question for McGill coming into this year was, okay, what do they do at quarterback? Because Paris Chambers played so well last year, and we saw that in the championship game, how much he grew up as the year went along. We knew from the spring that they were going to go with Bubba Thompson, who is a very highly regarded baseball prospect. But I got to tell you guys, he looked fantastic in the 7-on-7 tournament over the weekend. I expect them to be really good again. We saw Hoover, particularly defensively, you could see their speed and athleticism on that side of the ball. I think they're going to be really good. And I was really impressed with Park Crossing. That's a team with a lot of athletes. Sometimes you go to 7-on-7, and occasionally, you see some guys playing both ways. Well, they don't. They got a really good wide receiver group that was held when Jackson Tate from Edgewood Academy transferred to Park Crossing, and they got a bunch of really quick, fast, aggressive DBs. So Malik Cunningham, their quarterback, looked really good. I think they're going to be a true contender in 6A. 6A is really deep. Spanish Fort looked good, but I was really impressed with Park Crossing too.
Well, Josh, can't wait to have you on many, many times for the AHSA Scoreboard Show starting on August 19th. Really looking forward to it, buddy.
Always appreciate the time, guys. Thanks for having me on.
That was Josh Bean with AL.com, does a fabulous job with AL.com and always keeps us up to date. We'll be back in just a minute with more Sportz Blitz Live.
In a world that's ever-changing, you have to be sure that your choices are the right choices. Whether choosing a technical degree program, taking courses to transfer to a four-year college or university, or being a part of our national championship winning traditions, Central Alabama will provide you with courses and degree programs in tune with today's workplace. Get a sharper focus on your life by choosing one of our 3 convenient locations: Alex City, Childersburg, and Talladega. Central Alabama Community College. Central to you, central to your success. Foshi Boat Dock, located on Highway 280 in Dadeville, Alabama, can handle your boat from bow to stern. Let's start with safety. Life jackets, kill switches, and other safety equipment, trailer tires to spark plugs, accessories galore, new and used motors, jet skis, pontoons, and runabout boats. Brett Foshi has 20-plus years in keeping us afloat. Come on by today at Foshi Boat Dock in Dadeville, 256-825-5525.
So, you may not know it, but you've seen our work everywhere. For a combined 50 years, SignSource has been Central Alabama's premier option for all your sign needs. Custom signs for your business, club, or organization. Wraps and decals for your vehicle or boat. Full-color banners for your big sale, or a photo collage on canvas for grandma. All with fast, friendly, prompt service. Check out our website at signsourcenow.com. 888-533-6758. Go straight to the source. SignSource.
JR Sports Bar and Grill. Mondays, all you can eat fingers, $13.25. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, all you can eat wings, $12.25. Every day, kids in uniforms eat for $1.99. Alabama Street in Alexander City and Highway 280 in Sylacauga.
At Bone and Joint Specialists, there is no better feeling than to know that we have helped make someone's life better. Orthopedic surgeons Dr. Paul Goldhagen and Dr. Martha George treat all injuries and conditions related to your bones, joints, and muscles for both adults and pediatric patients while specializing in arthritis and sports medicine. 256-329-9133 or visit us online at bonesandjoints.com. Alexander City, Wetumpka, Sylacauga, and Dadeville. Bone and Joint Specialists, getting you back into the game of life.
I'm attorney Dane Sharp. Here at my office, we want to be different than the big city billboard lawyers. We want to give your case the personal attention that it deserves. We handle auto accidents, tractor-trailer accidents, and other cases where our clients have been injured and need personal legal attention. To me and my staff, you will not just be another number on the case file, and we will return your phone calls. So if you've been injured, give me a call today or visit us on our website.
Welcome back into Sports Blitz Live, everybody. Luke Robinson, now joined by a very special guest, Ms. Abby Lutzenkirchen with the Knight Eady Group. And if that name sounds familiar, yes, she is the sister of Philip Lutzenkirchen, who passed away just a couple years ago very tragically, and who was an Auburn legend. And we will get into that in just a bit. But for now, I want to talk about Abby and her career. She had played some soccer at the University of Alabama, and now she has moved on to work with the Knight Eady Group, which we've had the great fortune of working with several times. Abby, how are you this evening?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing fantastic. And as I said, you are with the Knight Eady Group, and they have their hands in so many things in the state of Alabama now and all over, really. We work with them with the finals in basketball for the AHSAA, and obviously for the same in football as well. And now they're going to be working with the National Senior Games, and that's where you come in.
Yeah, so the National Senior Games is actually the biggest sporting event for people ages 50 and up in the entire world. So we're expecting about 10,000 plus athletes to come to Birmingham next June 2017, and it's going to be one of the biggest sporting events, multi-day sporting events that Birmingham's ever seen. So we're pretty excited to let the nation kind of see Birmingham in a different light.
Will it be televised? Is it going to be on ESPN or any of the other channels?
No, the games aren't televised at all. It's definitely more of a smaller scale sporting event, but the stories of the athletes, there's people who compete who are 50 years old, and then there's people who compete in their 90s. So it's pretty incredible how amazing these people are and just the love they have for their sport.
And I notice, I'm looking at some of the sports now. You've got archery, badminton, bowling, cycling, golf. Where will the golf games be played?
So all of the games will be central to Birmingham. Most of them will be at Stanford facilities, UAB facilities, the Crossplex. I think Spain Park might be hosting an event. So it'll all be pretty centrally located to Birmingham.
How are the teams organized? Is it something where a group of seniors can just enter their own team, or is there some other kind of qualifications they have to go through?
So the national games are every 2 years, but every year there is a state level game. So we're actually flying to Utah in October because they're having their state games then, and they are one of the biggest state games. They have over 10,000 athletes at that game, and then there's smaller scales like Alabama, I think, had about 300 to 400 athletes compete this year. So it just depends, but you qualify through your state, and when you qualify through your state, then you can make nationals.
Well, all I know for sure is that if Knight Eady is going to be involved with it, it's going to be a first-class event. I know you guys will do a fantastic job. And then I also want to allow you to talk a little bit about the second annual Lutzy 43 Foundation Road Race, which is going to take place in Marietta, Georgia in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, Knight Eady, I'm fortunate enough because they do the management for our family's foundation, and that's how I got connected to them. And like I said, they've been like family to me. My family's all in Marietta, Georgia, so it's nice to work at a company where I feel so comfortable around everyone when I'm away from my family. But yeah, they've done an awesome job, and last year was our first year for the race, and we had over 600 runners, which was huge for our first year. So we're expecting hopefully a bigger turnout, and we're implementing something pretty cool this year where you can run from where you are. So say you're in Birmingham and can't make it to Marietta, you can still register for the race, and we'll send you a T-shirt, and you can get a group together to run a 5K in Birmingham. So it's pretty cool. Hopefully we get a lot of support through that. We have family friends in Chicago and Indiana and stuff who are creating their own virtual running groups for the event and fundraising for us. So it's been awesome so far.
You know, Abby, you guys have such an intriguing, likable family. I went through it and looked at some of your tweets of late regarding the road race that's coming up, and I think your grandfather competed in it last year, was it? And you had some pictures like that, and I mean, your whole family story is really just amazing, and the amount of passion you guys have for this foundation is incredible.
Yes, so I come from a huge family. My dad was one of 4, and my mom was one of 8. So we have tons of aunts and uncles and tons of cousins that have really rallied around our family, and our family would not be doing as well as we have since the accident without our family that has just supported us and been all in with the foundation and supporting it, and it's awesome. And a lot of them came down last year for their first year of the race, and some of them won't be running in Marietta this year, but they're going to be running virtually. So we have a huge family, and we love to be together as much as possible. I choose to be with my family over my friends most of the time when I go home because my family is my best friends. My sisters and my mom and dad are my rocks.
So how did Philip wind up at Auburn and you wind up at Alabama? What was the connection from Georgia that drew you two there? And if I remember right, I think Philip actually came down to Alabama and Auburn in his recruiting.
Yeah, Philip looked at most of the SEC schools pretty heavily. Alabama and Auburn were 2 of his top choices, and we're originally from Chicago and didn't really realize how big the rivalry was, I think, until Philip got to Auburn. Auburn's such a special place. I think I'm one of the only Alabama fans who loves Auburn, too. But Auburn is just such a special place, and the minute Philip stepped on campus, he was all in with the school and loved the school, and it was a great fit for him. And then when I was recruiting, I actually looked at Auburn as well, and just didn't really want to be under his shadow at Auburn. I kind of wanted to make a name for myself, and actually was like dead set on committing to LSU. I was coming home from a trip from visiting LSU, and my dad made me stop at Alabama because they were interested, and I didn't want to, and spent 3 hours there and fell in love with the campus, fell in love with the programs and the facilities, and so I committed there, and it just created a buzz on Twitter. I think we were trending that day that I committed and signed to Alabama, and it was my freshman year was fun because that was his senior year, so my parents would be in Tuscaloosa in crimson on a Friday night for my game, and they would drive to Auburn and wear orange and blue on a Saturday, and then they would drive back to Tuscaloosa on Sunday for my last game of the weekend. So it was crazy, but it was really fun.
Well, who was the team you guys rooted for in the Lutzenkirchen family before Alabama and Auburn got involved?
So we actually were Georgia fans just because we are from Georgia. And tons of our friends go there, and our good friend is Hudson Mason, was one of my brother's best friends, and he was committed to Georgia, and so my sister went to Georgia, so we just were tied to Georgia because we lived in Georgia, and that's what we were surrounded by. So it's pretty rare when you see my dad wearing the same school hat every day. He wears a Georgia hat one day, and then he'll wear an Auburn hat, and then he'll wear an Alabama hat. So I think people get pretty confused when they see him walking out in public in different college gear every day.
Well, Abby, you're doing a great job for Night Edie. We really appreciate your being on, and best of luck to you with the National Senior Games and the second annual Lutzy 43 Foundation Road Race. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks so much.
That was Abby Lutzenkirchen. Wow, I knew I'd get that name wrong at some point in this, but she does a fabulous job, and man, what an amazing family. They really got an incredible story. We'll be back in just a minute with more Sports Blitz Live.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
For 115 years, Alliant Bank has built a strong foundation of outstanding customer service. Now, U.S. AmeriBank is building on that foundation with Craft Banking. U.S. AmeriBank's mission is to create handcrafted solutions that perfectly suit your needs and goals. With these financial strengths and convenient banking tools of U.S. AmeriBank, your hometown bank is now even stronger. Alliant is now U.S. AmeriBank, and we're built on values and forging into the future. Visit usameribank.com or any branch for Craft Banking solutions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Over the years, S&S Tire has grown into the Lake Martin area's largest volume tire dealer. S&S Tire offers the industry's best brand names: Michelin, Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Firestone, and much, much more. The tire pros at S&S offer professional installation and the region's best price. In addition to your tire needs, S&S offers full automotive mechanical work for all your vehicle maintenance and repair needs with the area's most experienced staff. Visit either of our 2 locations on Cherokee Road in Alex City or at South Street in Dadeville. At S&S Tire, we're installing peace of mind for every customer we serve. Every job, every day.
For over 60 years, people in East Central Alabama have relied on the team at Jackson Refrigeration for the highest standards in heating and air installation and service. Now they've expanded into A1 Four Seasons Heating and Air, a division of Jackson Refrigeration, and you can still count on their reputation to make your comfort their priority with quality Goodman products with the best warranty in the industry. Whether it's new construction or a complete unit change, Jackson Refrigeration and A1 Four Seasons Heating and Air, the go-to team for over 60 years, where your comfort is our priority.
And I know when I need it, I can count on you. Like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh.
You can count on the caring team at Brown Nursing and Rehabilitation. Our services include physical, speech, and occupational therapy. Brown Nursing and Rehabilitation, 256-329-9061.
Hello, I'm State Farm Agent Karen Chanel. I specialize in helping families and individuals like yourself in the Alexander City and Lake Martin communities. With over 20 years experience with State Farm and a dynamic team of licensed professionals, I am committed to helping you manage the risk of everyday life. And we not only consider it an honor, but a privilege to assist you in meeting your insurance and financial services needs. I sincerely look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Alex City Marine, the Lake Martin area's premier new and used boat and motor dealership. Find out more at alexcitymarine.com.
You know, one of the best things about social media is that it allows us to reach out and find guests that we probably wouldn't have ever found any other way. We've had some of the more fascinating interviews we've done through guests we found on social media. And this is another guest we just found on social media. That's Ms. Hannah Stevens, who recently graduated from the University of Alabama. She's in Huntsville now. She's been doing really well in sports radio, and they've given her own show on Saturdays. And really thankful to have her on here with us now. She's with 97.7 ESPN Radio in Huntsville. Hannah, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing tonight?
Doing great. Thanks so much for being with us. It is really an interesting story. I mean, you're basically fresh out of college, and now you've got your own radio gig. That's pretty cool, huh?
I mean, it's definitely a blessing from the Lord. I mean, like, you know, when you're in college, and, you know, you look back, and I look back at my time, and, you know, the classes I took, you're always asked, you know, what do you want to do when you graduate and your dream job? And, you know, they never really tell you the steps to get there, you know, like the internships, the low-paying jobs, the working for free after college, you know, and it's just been cool to see, like, how the Lord's got me to where I am today. And, I mean, it's such an honor, especially not only to work for ESPN Radio in Huntsville, but to also have your own show. I mean, it's honestly a dream come true, and I'm so thankful.
But you were a little famous going into this. You were known as the UA Sign Girl. Why don't you tell everybody what that means?
Yes, sir. In college, I was an athlete my freshman year. I was a rower on the rowing team, and I met my best friend, Jackie Trina, who was the national champion softball pitcher. And I would go to their games, and, you know, I was always passionate in high school. I was always a passionate fan. My dad was one of the football coaches, and I painted my body in high school, and, you know, I was very spirited. So going into college, once I met Jackie and started going to their games, I kind of wanted to have that same kind of mentality. So it started with me just making a sign that said Roll Tide. And then that same year I went to a basketball game, and long story short, ended up getting that's how the A went on my face, and then I just started going to football. And I did it all freshman and sophomore year, and it never went noticed, you know. And then junior year at the Tennessee game, I held a sign that said, Saban will stay for 60 if you stay forever. And Tracy Wolfson took a picture of that sign, and it went viral. And then someone called it the Feinbaum Show, and said, that's like the UA Sign Girl. And so it kind of just blew up, and ever since then, it's just kind of, I guess, how it's been known. So it's just weird. It's weird how it all happened. I mean, looking back, it's really funny now, but it definitely did help the network. I mean, that was the biggest thing I took from it was, you know, I never did it for the fame or the attention, but, you know, once that happened, like, a lot of opportunities arose for me to use that for networking. And so that's one thing I did do is, you know, kind of use that in my favor. But it's really funny looking back. I mean, it's the most random thing that ever happened to me, but I'm really glad it happened.
You know, I always wonder how kids will handle that kind of internet fame, the 15 minutes of fame or what have you. It seems like you embraced it and then really rode the coattails into a little bit more success.
Yeah, I mean, that was my biggest thing, you know, like, because there have been times where, like, even recently, I don't know, it goes through phases, like, you know, it'll go through where, like, no one really talks about it, and then, like, someone picks up a story, like, recently, a few people want to interview me about it, and it's just like, you know, I told my parents, like, I want to stay true to who I am, you know, I never want to be arrogant, I never, like, want to lose sight of who I am, or, you know, I always want to give God glory for it, because I'm not living for me, so it's just, it's just things that have happened. I mean, of course I struggle with it sometimes, you know, like when you have people like, you know, you see in public and stuff, it's hard not to, I guess, like get a little big-headed, but it's been cool. I've been trying to, you know, keep my feet grounded, and like I said, it's just been very helpful, and, you know, I know it could all be taken away tomorrow, just like any athlete injury or anything. You know, your career could stop tomorrow, so, I mean, I'm obviously just trying my best to embrace it. He's in my favor, but also, you know, as I'm doing the radio now, I guess it was Monday, yesterday, I changed my Twitter handle to @HannahESPN because of that. You know, I'm trying to not go away from being the UA sign girl, but kind of creating a platform, I guess you'd say, you know, kind of more of a professional, because I feel like sometimes as I get older, it's going to look a little weird that, hey, there's this, you know, soon to be, you know, I'm almost 25 now, the girl's still living in her college years. So it's been a cool ride, but at the same time, I'm still in it, but also kind of trying to adjust to new things.
Well, and I think that being the UA sign girl, it may have endeared you to the fans a little bit more because, I mean, it could be tough. I can only imagine for a female to break into her own sports programming here in the state of Alabama and talk about football and be accepted immediately, as sad as that may sound. But I'm sure it's difficult for you having that background and people knowing how passionate you are about it. It has to help.
Oh, it definitely has. I mean, I think I've had one rude person who ended up being a female. I think she was the only person that's ever said anything like, you don't really know what you're talking about. And I mean, everyone's going to have haters, but it definitely has helped me adjust because, you know, during the football games and I'd hold up those signs, the majority of the people who understood those signs were males, you know, and so I had their respect in the game for me to come up with witty signs, and they were like, oh, yeah, she gets football. So going into this career, you know, really has helped me. And, like, I try to prove myself more and more. Like I said, my dad was a football coach when I was in high school. I grew up knowing everything about football. It's just my mother loves football. Everyone in my family does. So it has helped. And, you know, the only thing that's kind of hurt, I guess, is, you know, when I'm sent to Auburn games, you know, I was sent to Auburn A-Day, and, you know, I'm so scared that someone's going to be like, oh, my gosh, that's a UA sign girl. Because, you know, I don't want them to be like, oh, she's going to be biased. But I agree with you. It really has helped me, I guess, adjust better to having people respect and understand me. And, you know, just kind of not hate on me for being old. Because it is hard being a woman, not only in the sports broadcasting world, but when you want to talk about football, having that respect.
I love the name of your program, by the way. That's what she said. That's good. That's catchy. I like it. Let's talk a little football just for a second here. First of all, you tweeted out a quote from Nick Saban that I guess he said on his Charlotte tour today through SEC Network, and I know he was on ESPN too. But he said, you can love winning or hate losing, and I hate losing. And I think that describes him perfectly.
Yeah. I mean, I do too. And it was just so funny that it came out of his mouth because, you know, Nick Saban's an awesome, like, in-person interview because he answers his question. He answers your question in a way that, like, he totally just goes another direction, you know? Like, you'll be talking about one thing, like when I asked him about, you know, Lane Kiffin, he didn't talk about Lane Kiffin once, but he worded his answer in a way that really makes you think. So they were talking to him about, you know, does your personality, I mean, this is what the question the guy asked, you know, when people ask you all the time, why do you smile? Do you not smile because it's who you are and you've been successful and you would want to change that? Then he went on to say, I mean, I think it really boils down to this question. Do you like winning or do you hate losing? And I hate losing, you know, and he's like, and I go through that mentality, and he's like, I try to instill that in the guy. So I agree with you. I think Nick Saban's, you know, persona is the perfect answer, like quote that forever will, I think, shape and describe Nick Saban because he hates losing. I mean, you can see that year after year in everything he does.
And I think that's one thing he has in common with most Alabama fans. I've said it for a long time, maybe not quite as succinctly as Coach Saban did, but that I think Auburn fans enjoy their winning at the same rate that Alabama fans hate their losing. And that kind of describes the fan bases to me. Really quickly, your thoughts on the Alphonse Taylor situation from this past week? You think he's going to miss any game time?
I don't know. I think it's hard to tell now. I think that, you know, you have to look at the situation. I mean, I know him. I don't know him super well, but, I mean, he seems like a good kid. I mean, good kids mess up, but also at the same time, you know, I look back when I was a kid and my parents disciplined me all the time, and I think it really helped shape who I am today. So I think Nick Saban needs to become stricter on his discipline just because of the fact that, you know, I think players are starting to push the boundaries, not just Alabama, all across the country. You look at the issues that are arising in college athletics, and I think they need to be nipped in the bud earlier, and I think disciplinary actions happening with even smaller circumstances would really help prevent a lot of these issues. So I think he deserves to be suspended. Is he going to? I don't know. You know, the thing about issues like this, we don't have all the information in the beginning, so we always make assumptions. But if, you know, depending on the circumstances, I do think disciplinary action should happen. But, you know, obviously Nick Saban will have that, and I've just learned to trust his process and everything. So I know that he'll do it for the best interest of his players, not only on the field, but, you know, who they become in the future.
Well, Hannah, thanks so much for being with us tonight. Really do appreciate it, and good luck with your program. We'll have you on again soon, okay?
Thank you. I love it. I really appreciate y'all having me on. You have a blessed night.
You too. That was Hannah Stevens from 97.7 ESPN in Huntsville. She has a show called That's What She Said. That's pretty cool. All right, we'll be back in just a minute with more Sports Blitz Live.
Purchasing a new home is easier than you think, and America's Home Place can show you the way. For over 41 years, we've built thousands of homes for people just like you. We guide you through the entire process from purchasing a lot, finding financial options, to putting the finishing touches on your beautiful new house. Come tour our showroom and see over 100 customizable floor plans. Visit us online at americashomeplace.com/TV for a free floor plan book. America's Home Place. We make building easy.
CTE Small Engines next to Tigertown and Opelika is East Alabama's full lawn and land equipment supercenter. CTE Small Engines offers full mower lines from Husqvarna to Toro, whether it's the Toro Zero Turn MX 5000 or the great line of tough Husqvarna push mowers. CTE has the region's best prices and selection. CTE offers a full line of Echo to make taming your lawn a breeze. And best of all, CTE has a full service department for warranty work. CTE Small Engine in Opelika, your lawn's ultimate sales and service center.
Define the fabric of a team. It's not selfish. It's not boastful. It's about many, sewn together to reach one common goal. But in order to win, you must learn to work together.
Now's the time to make a splash during the summer clearance event at Bice Motors. Get incredible summer savings on our entire inventory. Save over $10,000 on a great selection of new 2016 Ram trucks. Thinking about a Jeep? Bice has the Lake Martin area's largest selection of Jeep Renegades, Patriots, Compass, Cherokees, and Grand Cherokees, all priced to move.
Guaranteed lowest price, or we'll pay you the difference in price twice.
Don't miss the summer clearance event going on now. BiceChryslerDodge.com.
What value would you gain working with Lee Marketing Group? With 4 divisions under one umbrella, Sign Source, Lee Apparel, R&B Media, and LMG Baker Advertising Agency, Lee Marketing Group offers a comprehensive approach. From logo design and branding to ad placement and everything in between, LMG can handle it all. For ease of time, cutting edge, results-driven marketing campaigns, think LMG. Lee Marketing Group, your comprehensive marketing solution.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill. S&S discount tire. I think I took another vacation.
You did? Did you go fishing down in Venice?
I went to Venice while you were interviewing the last 3 guests. But anyway.
Well, let's go back to what we were talking about expansion for the Big 12. Who do you think? All right, let's do it this way. Let's work backwards.
First of all, let's work backwards. Okay. Because I want to say one thing.
I think they're going to end up with 4 conferences eventually. I don't know how long it's going to take us to get there.
We've been saying that for 3 years.
Yeah. But, and I think the SEC needs to get 2 more in there. I want to see the SEC get Clemson in. I think Clemson is –
Florida State.
And I know it doesn't help market share.
Clemson and Florida State.
Okay. Yes, that's who I want. Florida will never let Florida State happen. So I think Clemson's more.
Florida will never let Florida State happen.
No, they won't let it happen. They just won't. They don't want them.
I mean, Florida may not have a choice.
They may not, and that would be fine.
I mean, how about those apples?
It would be totally fine with me for Clemson and Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech was in it one time, but I think there's a lot of bad blood that predates us.
What about Georgia?
Georgia might not. Really I don't know if they've got quite as much pull about it as Florida does. But I think that I'll tell you a team, and this is going to sound nutty, okay?
Houston
West Virginia. But they're like us. If we had thought of burning couches first, we'd be burning couches.
I know.
They just thought of it first.
I don't like the fit. I just don't.
Okay, but adding Clemson, and I've been to Clemson, and it gets pretty crazy. I mean,
I'd rather grab North Carolina than I would West Virginia.
That's what I was going to say. I think in the end, it's going to be somebody like a Virginia Tech and an NC State going to the SEC. Which, I mean,
I don't like that feel either.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just being honest.
I'm with you.
You're making a statement. I'm just throwing out my honest.
But see, what's going to happen is North Carolina is probably going to follow Maryland to the Big Ten. The way that I see this
because of basketball.
Well, because of basketball and just the academic prestige. That's what I think.
I think you're right, considering they're recent.
I'm worried. Yeah,
they're prestige. Yeah.
I don't know that you can bring some more Western teams in without moving Alabama and Auburn to the East.
That's right.
Which you don't want to split Alabama and Auburn up, okay? Because you break up some other.
Well, you don't want to have to move that rivalry game to the middle of the year.
Exactly.
Because that's exactly what would have to happen. They'd have to play week 6.
And see, it would lose a lot. And you don't want Alabama and Auburn to play twice in the same year. You just don't.
You don't, I mean, and it could happen.
It's different than other teams. It's just you don't want that to happen. But I think that I would love to have Oklahoma if we could somehow make it work.
See, and then you just got to rename the whole conference. When you start grabbing Oklahoma, and I mean, I know we got Texas A&M, but
I mean Virginia
Arkansas,
too.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you're gonna have to name it something else.
No, we're gonna keep the same name. I feel like they're not. They've worked pretty hard on their
branding. Boise State, SEC, baby.
Well, they got West Virginia in the Big 12 right now.
I know.
And see, that's why I think West Virginia moving out of there makes a lot of sense. I mean, it makes no sense.
All right, so let's go back to the Big 12 as they exist right now. Really don't have 12 teams.
They got 10.
The Big 10 has 12. I mean, that's all screwed up too. So yeah,
they got 14 actually.
They do have 14, and the Pac-12 is trying to get to the Pac-15, right? Or do they have 15? I can't remember. I know they've tried.
You're throwing me off.
Exactly.
I think they've got 14 too.
I mean, the numbers in the names mean squat now. They don't even change. But anyway, the Big 12, which is really 10 teams, Baylor included in that. I mean, they were a team that the Big 12 was really relying on. That was a comeuppance, and now all this. I mean, what does Baylor do? How does Baylor finish this year? Let's just look into the crystal ball. Based on all that they've lost, now I want everybody to understand that when a player leaves a program, you don't get to go out and replace that player.
Yeah,
that's a loss. They've lost 13 players out of this class.
But now they've lost players out of this signing class, so I think long term is really bad.
I do too.
And the cloud that's hovering over them.
But 13 players out of one class is about don't have a class.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. And Jim Grove came out today and said, I don't think we got a problem with our culture. And then if I were the AD, I'd say, please don't talk anymore because that's not what we need to say. But
and how's he?
Baylor's going to be okay this year. First of all, they play absolutely nobody in the non-conference for the most part. Then they've still got good wide receivers. Yeah. They've got a pretty good running back. They've got a pretty good quarterback. They are still going to put some points on the board. It's not going to be the same, though. Yep. I mean, having Art Browse back there steering the boat, would have been a lot better for them if all this other stuff hadn't happened. Art Briles comes out, and we'll talk. I want to talk more expansion, but Art Briles comes out and says he thinks he'll be coaching either in the NFL or college in 2017. I mean,
I think he will. I think he will.
I would find it hard to believe. I would find
Bobby
it hard
Petrino
to believe.
did. I mean,
Bobby Petrino did for infidelity. I mean, that was essentially, and he had backstabbed a couple of people. There was a rape culture at Baylor.
I agree.
And it seems like a different. I mean, especially in today's day, I don't think you can do that. But we'll see. But let's go back to expansion.
Yeah.
So if you're the Big 12, and let's say nobody else is moving or doing anything, who do you target? Do you target BYU?
Man, I don't know. That's what I was trying to kind of go through here and look at some other programs. I mean, it's just so wide open now with the geographical expanse of who you go after. I mean, I think for the Big 12, yeah. I mean, because Utah went out toward the Pac.
They're in the Pac.
So they're in the Pac. And they were talking about them this week, actually, how they've actually struggled since they've joined a Power 5 conference. But really, they've made strides in the last 2 years. They were one game away from winning their division, actually, this past year. So that they're still a good program. I don't know who you go after. I mean, first of all, how about pick up 2 more teams and get back to the name of your conference?
Well, you could go to, I mean, you could go.
Get 2 more teams.
Colorado
used to be part of that conference, but now they're in the Pac-12.
You could go Memphis, you could go BYU, but neither one of those teams is going to give you a monster splash. They're just going to make it so that you have your 12 teams that you want. I don't know. I think they're in a problem, and this Baylor thing has exacerbated it because now Baylor was arguably, I don't even say arguably, they were the second most successful team right now behind Oklahoma. And Texas is going to come back eventually.
Sure.
And then, but then you got TCU, and that's sort of that doesn't have a lot of cachet.
No.
And now Baylor is falling off the rails.
I just think that hurts them so much with all this stuff going on with Baylor. It's a bad time.
It's a really bad look.
Got some other stuff we want to discuss because I know we've got another break to get to, and then we got Brian Matthews at the end of the program. The CBS Sports came out with the 5 most disrespected programs in college football. Did you see which ones they were?
No, but we better go to break and then come back, or Justin's going to end up doing 9 jumping jacks a minute trying to tell us to break.
You got a better angle on that than I do.
I know.
So, okay.
I looked over there and
All
I said,
so
he's doing calisthenics.
One more jumping jack and I'll go to break. Okay. Stay tuned. More Sportz Blitz Live presented by JR's and SNS Tire right after this.
Meet Pam. Pam just bought a new Civic XL. She loves it. Now meet Kate. Kate just bought a 2016 Elantra Limited at Hyundai of Auburn. Kate loves it. Her Elantra costs $2,000 less than Pam's Civic. Plus, Kate will make no payments for 6 months. She got a Hyundai of Auburn deal, saving $3,000 cash flow. With her savings, Kate is taking her family for a beach week. Be a Kate. Visit HyundaiofAuburn.com. What will you do with the money you save?
Do you know that C&T Electric offers a home protection plan for your electrical system? Are you wondering what this is or why you need one? Just like your heating, cooling, and plumbing systems, your electrical system needs to be maintained also. With C&T Electric's home protection plan, you receive annual electrical safety inspections, priority service when you call, discounts on all electrical services, and the dispatch fee is waived on all calls. Call C&T Electric at 256-234-0007 today.
Over the years, SNS Tire has grown into the Lake Martin area's largest volume tire dealer. SNS Tire offers the industry's best brand names: Michelin, Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Firestone, and much, much more. The tire pros at SNS offer professional installation and the region's best price. In addition to your tire needs, SNS offers full automotive mechanical work for all your vehicle maintenance and repair needs with the area's most experienced staff. Visit either of our 2 locations on Cherokee Road in Ellick City or at South Street in Dadeville. At SNS Tire, we're installing peace of mind for every customer we serve. Every job, every day.
Hi.
We're looking for insurance.
Let's see who's free.
When insurance agents work for only one company, their options are simply limited.
Everybody!
But a trusted choice independent agent is free to shop many companies for a better deal. Free to do what's right for you.
Did your team just win the big game? Are you looking for a unique way to honor a valuable employee? Lila's Engraving has you covered, offering a large selection of custom trophies and plaques. Lila's also offers cast aluminum car tags, custom engraved wine glasses, clocks, and wood cutting boards. They even offer custom framing for any art or picture as well. Lila's combines the best quality items with the fastest service around. With over 27 years of experience in the Alexander City and Lake Martin areas, Lila's Engraving is your only choice for custom awards and engraved gifts. Always remember, winners choose Lila's.
I'm attorney Dane Sharp. If you've been injured in an auto accident, don't choose an attorney simply because they have flashy television commercials and tons of billboards. Call a local attorney who can give your case the personal attention it needs and deserves. For over 20 years, I've handled hundreds of auto accidents, and I take pride in the personal service we provide and the results we obtain for our clients. So if you've been injured, give me a call today and put our team to work for you.
This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Russell Do-It Center, offering a complete assortment of lumber, building materials, electrical, and plumbing supplies. Russell Do-It Center stores deliver first-class service, top-rate products, and competitive do-it-best pricing.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sportz Blitz Live, presented by JR, Sports Barn Grill, and S&S Discount Tire. Our last segment, then we'll have Andy Graham and Brian Matthews to close out the show. First and foremost, got to say this because we haven't mentioned yet, and it's really close. The Olympics in Rio 2016. Where did you?
I didn't know where you were going.
Well, just hold on.
I was like, I'm on the edge of my seat just like everybody else.
Ready. You were ready.
Well, usually I know what you're about to announce.
I had to throw that one out there. Friday, August the 5th is opening ceremony. And what I was going to say is I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. Do you get excited about the Summer Olympics and the Winter Olympics?
I mean,
like it?
Normally I do. This year I'm not.
This is going to be interesting down here. I mean, there's hands floating up on the beach and bacteria in the water.
It was funny.
They said, and Bob Costas, if he thought it was bad in Russia 4 years ago, his eyes took a vacation.
He had some of that supercharged pink eye last time. But
it got worse every night. It's like and by the end of the whole thing, you couldn't even wear glasses.
There was actual sports headline that said hand washed up on beach to be used for volleyball tournament. And somebody made the comment, boy, I'd just use a volleyball. It's a poorly worded headline. Yeah. But when body parts are washing up on your beaches,
it's not a good situation.
It's not. Zika is like number 7 on the list of things I'd worry about going to the Olympics right now. And have you seen the cartoon of somebody, they're lighting the torch is lighting the Olympic flame, and it's a huge citronella candle? It's pretty good. But, all right, talk about your disrespected teams. You talk about something that's getting disrespected, that's the Olympics.
It's the Olympics. Maybe they should have been added to the list. We'll go over it. CBS, again, did this. I want to give them credit. We'll make out like we did this, although I don't necessarily agree all the way around. But I didn't plagiarize like somebody might have last night. But anyway, Notre Dame is number 5. I'm really kind of shocked they even made this list. Disrespected teams, Notre Dame? I don't see that.
Okay. I think they may have lapped over back into disrespected. They had gotten hyped so much that now people don't respect them enough. And the reason I say that, and obviously I'm not disrespecting them, I predict they will be in the playoff this year.
Wow.
I looked at their schedule. I think it's incredibly manageable. If they can get by Texas, they've got to get by Michigan State.
I don't see that being a problem.
And they've got to get by USC,
of course,
obviously.
Oklahoma didn't either.
I think they've got to play Stanford, but they get them at home. I just feel like, and if Notre Dame goes undefeated, they're going to be in the playoff. Now, the rest of y'all can figure that out.
I agree with that.
But on the list of most disrespected seems a little much, but I don't think it's as outlandish as you thought. I think that they get they take such a lambasting in the media and from fans because of how badly they got beat by Alabama in the bowl game in 2012 that people don't understand. Look, this team's got some talent. They are pretty doggone good.
Yeah, that's a good point. Utah number 4 on that list. Again, I just mentioned, it's kind of ironic, I didn't know they were on this list. They're improving. They were 1 win away from winning their division in the Pac-12. Michigan State, number 3. How about can be competitive when you go to something that matters? I mean, you block the punt against Michigan and you run back, but you get up against Alabama and you get beat 100-0 and twice. It just seems like when they get in on the big stage, they can't handle it. Number 2, Oklahoma State. I agree with that one. I think Oklahoma State kind of get disrespected a little bit.
I mean, but how do you get them disrespected? I guess the only reason you could say that is they didn't get into the championship game over Alabama in 2011, but they did lose to Iowa State, and they haven't been a real threat to be in the title game.
Well, and again, just like they've always had an opportunity to win and control their own destiny, they don't do it. So, and number 1 on that list, Mississippi State.
Okay. First of all,
they're picked last in the West for a reason because they don't have Dak Prescott. They lost, a tremendous wide receiver. I'm just saying, I don't know why in the world they would be anything less than 6.
And I agree. And when I did my West predictions for the Outlook, I had Mississippi State at 7, and my only analysis was, who else am I going to put here?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to put them there. Who'd you have 6? Arkansas?
Why'd you ask me that?
Arkansas.
I might have had I think I did have Arkansas
and
6.
Auburn 5.
And I had Auburn 3rd.
3rd in the West?
I did.
What happened to you?
Well, because I said I think they're going to go 8-4.
Good. I like your style.
But here's the thing.
Like
Auburn is the wild card. Auburn is I think I put Auburn at their ceiling. And also, I'm trying to sell outlooks here. But I think also
pick one of those up and see what happened to Luke.
they're going to check the obituary.
Concussion test on you.
No, I think that going back to Auburn, I called into Sports Call today and talked about their schedule coming up. The most important game on
Texas A&M
is Texas A&M. I don't think there's any doubt because both teams more than likely will be coming in with a loss. Texas A&M to UCLA at home, Auburn to Clemson at home. I mean, you might think Auburn can beat them, and that's fine. Vegas is saying, and my eyes are telling me from what I've seen of Clemson, they're really good.
Yeah.
So, okay, if one of those
Auburn's
two
an underdog
coaches,
for a reason, and I said this on Sports Call last week. Auburn's an underdog for a reason, but can they beat Clemson at home? Yes, they have the talent to do it. A lot of things are going to have to go right. Auburn's going to have to create some turnovers, and they'll have to win the trenches. They're going to have to win the line of scrimmage. But I know we're out of time. We got to get to break because we got to get Brian Matthews and Andy Graham up here next. It's been a lot of fun. Stay tuned. More Sports Blitz Live coming your way right after this.
Purchasing a new home is easier than you think, and America's Home Place can show you the way. For over 41 years, we've built thousands of homes for people just like you. We guide you through the entire process from purchasing a lot, finding financial options, to putting the finishing touches on your beautiful new house. Come tour our showroom and see over 100 customizable floor plans. Visit us online at americashomeplace.com/TV for a free floor plan book. America's Home Place. We make building easy.
Russell Do-It Center and Russell Building Supply is locally owned and operated with over 30 years experience providing a wide array of lumber, building materials, hardware, electrical and plumbing supplies, paint, tools, and garden products. Our employees' superior product knowledge and top-notch customer service allows us to help select the best products that will work for you. We provide free product estimates and takeoffs, free local delivery, and ask about our price match promise. Russell Do-It Center and Russell Building Supply. Experience and knowledge from the pros.
Excitement awaits you on beautiful Lake Martin. Alex City Guide Service can provide you with a charter trip of a lifetime. Licensed charter guide David Hare has over 20 years of experience on Lake Martin, specializing in live bait fishing for trophy-sized saltwater striped bass, largemouth bass, and spotted bass. Call Alex City Guide Service today at 256-401-3089 or visit them online at www.alexcityguideservice.com.
Choosing a mattress should be simple. You just pick springs or foam. Springs or foam. Why not both? Half springs, half foam. A hybrid from Sealy with extra core support in the place you need it most. See? It is simple. The Sealy Posturepedic Premier Hybrid. It's the best of both for your best sleep yet.
24-month financing available on select models. Only at Holly's Home Furnishings.
At the Medicine Shop, we're dedicated to the idea that quality pharmacy care means more than just prompt prescriptions. When you come to the Medicine Shop Pharmacy, you'll be able to count on dependable care from a knowledgeable pharmacist. The Medicine Shop is the only compounding pharmacy in the area, and we offer the shingles vaccine year-round. Bring your prescriptions by the drive-thru on Airport Drive in Alex City, or input them online at www.medicineshop.com, or call them at 256-215-8014. The Medicine Shop, caring beyond prescriptions.
Gotta get to Gill's Auto Sales. We can finance, you got to get to Gill's. Selection and price, got to get to Gill's. Gotta get to Gill's.
Did you know that Gill's Auto Sales now features the Prestige Selection at their North Lake and Opelika locations? Gill's Auto Sales now has over 100 Prestige vehicles in stock. Newer models, low mileage with bank financing available. Come see the Prestige Selection at Gill's Auto Sales North Lake location and their new Opelika location. Gotta get to Gill's.
If you currently have an FHA mortgage, this commercial is for you. Most people that currently have an FHA mortgage are working with Home Place Mortgage to refinance their current loan. Several items have changed to make now the perfect time to refinance. FHA has reduced the amount of monthly mortgage insurance. Current interest rates for FHA loans are at all-time lows. FHA has eliminated the need for new appraisal. Most people will be able to refinance with little or no closing costs. This is the opportunity that you have been waiting for. Call now to start saving.
Show Enough Barbecue. Since 1990, we've been serving you the finest barbecue in Alexander City. Gerald believes in cooking fresh meat daily, and the secret to that is, I'm not going to tell you. Show Enough is just not about barbecue, but also known for fresh vegetables and homemade pies. That's where I come in. I'm Linda Sanford, better known as the Pie Lady. We also do catering. For more information, give us a call at 234-7675.
Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is the Lake Martin area's complete automotive solution. At Walls, you'll find a dedicated staff offering top quality service from routine maintenance to a full engine overhaul and everything in between. Brian Walls and the folks at Walls Tire are local folks that you know, and they provide the best service always at a fair price. Find out what the rest of the Lake Martin area already knows. Walls Tire is the Lake Martin area's complete automotive solution. Just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
My parents got good news the other day. Mommy and Daddy were really happy. This is how happy they were. They were actually dancing. That was hard to watch. Whew, at least they didn't kiss.
Russell Medical Center, delivering future leaders of tomorrow, today.
We are Steel, German-engineered chainsaws and landscape products.
The majority of which are made here in America by Americans.
And exported to over 90 countries around the world.
Find out why steel is #1 in America at steelusa.com.
Find your Steel outdoor products and more at the new Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
Now's the time to make a splash during the summer clearance event at Bice Motors. Get incredible summer savings on our entire inventory. Save over $10,000 on a great selection of new 2016 Ram trucks. Thinking about a Jeep? Bice has the Lake Martin area's largest selection of Jeep Renegades, Patriots, Compass, Cherokees, and Grand Cherokees, all priced to move.
Guaranteed lowest price, or we'll pay you the difference in price twice.
Don't miss the summer clearance event going on now. BiceChryslerDodge.com.
Right now, we want to go to the phone line and welcome in our good friend Brian Matthews from AuburnSports.com. Brian, how you doing today?
I love doing it. Always good being with you.
Really appreciate it. Brian, we didn't get a chance to catch up with you last week. We were actually off on that date, and the other guys were handling the show for us. But, media days, always a fun and exciting time as leading up to the season here. But just kind of get your thoughts on everything that happened last week. What all were your takeaways from especially obviously Auburn?
Yeah, and I only went up there for Auburn, so I wasn't up there for every school and what every coach said. But it wasn't a big news thing. A lot of information, but Gus really from the point that offensively he wants to get back to pace and. They need to do a better job of, being more efficient, not making so many mistakes. And he admitted that they did a poor job offensively last year, and that he is really committed to turn that around.
Yeah, he's made a lot of references to winning close games, and he keeps saying, and I said in the previous segment, one of the quotes I was getting tired of hearing was that all three guys, we feel like all three quarterbacks can execute our offense. That's a positive. I've heard that quote so many times, and I really don't believe that. Brian, do you?
No, I don't. And of course, he said that again at media days. But you can't decide a quarterback race in a week if all three guys are, have the same shot at it. This is something that he has said. He said it back in the spring. He said it this summer, and now he said at media days he wants to get this. Quarterback race over as soon as possible, and pick the starter, pick the leader of the offense and the team, and you can't do that with three guys going the whole time. So, in my mind, it's probably going to be either Sean White or John Franklin, and I think, I guess the biggest measuring stick will be how much John Franklin has improved since spring until now. I know he's been working on a lot of things, trying to improve his passing, his ball security. And it really depends on how well he does. I think Sean White probably had the edge coming out spring, but of course, a John Franklin, if he can improve and hold on the ball, he brings that extra dimension I think this offense needs.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're now, I think, 15 days or thereabouts away from practice, 15, 16 days away. So, when you look at this team as they're about to start making preparations for the 2016 season. Besides the quarterback position, where do you think Auburn needs to make the most improvement this year?
I think most improvement needs to come offensively. I think the wide receivers, that new group, especially Kyle Davis, Nick Craig-Myers, and Eli Stove, Marquise McClain is the other freshman, they all need to step in, and they're going to need two or three of those guys to play right away. And maybe at least one of them to develop into a big play receiver. So I think that's a really important position to watch this spring. And that running back, they've got to establish some reliable depth behind Javon Robinson. I think Kerryon Johnson can do it. I think Cameron Petway can do it. And we'll see who else can do it, during fall two-a-days. And then, defensively, there's some important battles. You got to find a starter opposite Carlton Davis at cornerback, and there's a lot of different options they can look out there. And then you got to find starters at safety. You basically got about 3 or 4 guys back there that have started some at safety or played a lot of safety, and you got to find 2 starters.
Well, you saw, obviously, voted, I'm sure, in the media predictions for the SEC. Where did you think, or was that pretty much in line with your thoughts, or where do you think they went right? Where do you think they went wrong?
No, I didn't vote.
Didn't vote.
Because I don't know. I don't know enough about all the teams to vote. So I haven't voted for quite a while. But Yeah, I can understand putting Auburn 6 or whatever. They finished last year, and they still have a lot of the same question marks they had at the end of last season as they do now. So I can understand that. That doesn't necessarily bother me or anything, but I think Auburn has the opportunity, if they can get their problems off the quarterback, to be a really good team, because I think defensively they've got the talent and depth and experience to be really good on that side of the ball. If they can get that decent quarterback play, they can, move up and battle for the top of the SEC. I think after Alabama, I really think the whole conference is wide open. I know LSU has a great running back. I know Ole Miss has a great quarterback. I think every other team besides Alabama, and Alabama's got a question at quarterback too, but I think every other team in the West has an opportunity to step up for that number 2 spot.
Yeah, the West is not necessarily that difficult. You either pick Alabama or LSU if you're logical and being realistic about it. The East is a different animal. You got, I think, 3 teams that you would actually choose from. But do you think? I mean, they picked Tennessee pretty much going away as the East. Are you a believer in Tennessee?
I'm not a firm believer. I may have voted Tennessee, number 1 if I had to, but I wouldn't do that with the strong. They still got to get out there and prove it. It's been so long since they've won the East and been to the championship. I don't know. I mean, it would not surprise me at all.
Your comfort is our number 1 concern. Advanced Heat and Air.
Whether it's hot or cold, let Advanced Heating and Air make sure your house is ready for any season. If any of your equipment needs serviced or replaced, now is a great time to call us. Get 0% financing for 60 months with approved credit. Whether you need your system serviced or it's time for something new, call Advanced Heating and Air today.
Your comfort is our number 1 concern. Advanced Heat and Air.
Over the years, S&S Tire has grown into the Lake Martin area's largest volume tire dealer. S&S Tire offers the industry's best brand names: Michelin, Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Firestone, and much, much more. The tire pros at S&S offer professional installation and the region's best price. In addition to your tire needs, S&S offers full automotive mechanical work for all your vehicle maintenance and repair needs with the area's most experienced staff. Visit either of our 2 locations on Cherokee Road in Ellick City or at South Street in Dadeville. At S&S Tire, we're installing peace of mind for every customer we serve. Every job, every day.
Gotta get to Gill's Auto Sales. We can finance, you got to get to Gill's. Selection and price, got to get to Gill's. Gotta get to Gill's.
Did you know that Gill's Auto Sales now features the Prestige Selection at their North Lake and Opelika locations? Gill's Auto Sales now has over 100 Prestige vehicles in stock. Newer models, low mileage with bank financing available. Come see the Prestige Selection at Gill's Auto Sales North Lake location and their new Opelika location. Gotta get to Gill's.
When you need plumbing service, call on the professionals at A&M Plumbing LLC. For over 20 years, our mission has been to provide the best possible service available in the industry, and we specialize in solving difficult problems. We offer a wide range of services, such as installation, service, repair, and replacement of common fixtures, water heaters, toilets, faucets, drains, sewer lines, and septic tank pumping and cleaning services. Unlike many companies, our septic tank services include field line testing. Our knowledgeable staff will be happy to answer any of your questions. So call A&M Plumbing LLC today.
No pest is too big or too small for Lex Wedgeworth Pest Control. Protect your home or business today from insects, termites, mosquitoes, and more. Lex uses only the latest state-of-the-art technology and equipment to solve your pest problem, including the environmentally friendly Centricon termite baiting system. Lex has been servicing the Lake Martin area for over 35 years, and he has a full staff on hand. Call Lex today, even if it's just a question. 256-234-6162. Lex Wedgeworth Pest Control. Smart solutions to your pest problems.
I was on my way to work one morning. I had a very bad car accident. The guy ran a stop sign and crashed into me. I called one of the big city billboard lawyers, and I realized that I was just another number on a case file. They never would return my calls. I decided to contact Dane Sharp. He and his staff were very professional. They're always helpful, and best of all, they really care about me.
Don't trust your case to a billboard. I've recovered millions of dollars for my clients, and I'm right here in the Lake Martin area. So if you've been injured, give me a call.